Hey there, Mission CISD science teachers. My name is Guillermo Gonzalez. I'm a science teacher at Mission High. I'd show you my face, but I broke my webcam yesterday, so I can't do that. I mentioned yesterday in our meeting that our library has some digital resources that we can use, so I thought I would just show you some of those. And of course, when I said our library, I mean any of the ones here in our district. I'm here at the Mission High School page because, that's where I go. But let me show you just a couple of those. If you're at Mission High School, of course, to get to the library page, you would start at academics and then scroll on down to library, if it'll let me do so. Let me try that. And if you're at a different school, then I imagine there's something very similar to yours. Ours will take us here, and you'll have to click on library resource page, which again will be similar to whatever library, whatever school you're at. And each one of them, you'll get something like this. Click the school that you need. Here's Mission High School. And I know our librarian has made a very large list of a whole bunch of resources that are available for all kinds of subjects and whatnot. And I'm sure whatever school you're at, your librarian has done the same. Now, the two I wanted to highlight today were Learn 360 and the Gale Group. So here under the Mission High, we have digital research resources, and Gale Group is right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. What's nice about our librarian, and I'm pretty sure it's pretty standard for all of them, is that she's put the password you need right here on the site. If you don't have your password, talk to your librarian and they will have it, because it is essentially per school. Anyway, so that's going to send us, I had already signed in earlier, so it's not asking me to sign in, but the password was very easy. As it said there, it was just learn. And once I signed in, I get a whole bunch of different products here to choose from. So if you're in high school or middle school, we have some different literature that you can look at for these. If you're doing environmental studies, here's a really good resource for you to look through that. But the one that I really wanted to highlight was down here, Gale and Context Science. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And that takes us to this page. And there's a whole plethora of different resources available to you here. But just to go through this real quick, I'm just going to search up something. Although you do have some topics of interest, maybe if you need like a science thing for the day of the day, they're always putting something different up here. I'm going to look up, let's say, gravity. Maybe you've got physics or IPC. So I just did some search for gravity, and I've got a whole bunch of different content here that we can take a look at. There's some references, you got some magazines, different videos you can use, even just audio bits. But the ones I think, although all of those will be great resources, I think a lot of the questions yesterday were about how to do experiments and simulations or demos and whatnot. So if we go here to experiments, we've got a couple different things here that we can click on. Let's see, gravity, and I think this one gives you some reference material in the beginning, and then here is kind of a DIY, do it yourself at home little experiment that they can do. That's not going to take a lot of scientific equipment and whatnot. So those are some good things. Oh, and I saw down there is the teacher's guide, troubleshooter's guide. The other one we're going to want to look at, let me just go back, is the simulations. And, oh, here's a neat one. Forces acting on a skydiver. This was actually one of the ones that we looked at during a training I went to this summer. So on this one, you get to, let me just get started here. I'm not going to read the instructions. Of course I should. You get to determine a lot of the velocity and height and whatnot of a skydiver to see what the outcome would be. Look at those different forces that are playing on him. So if I put jump, I haven't altered anything, but as he's jumping, I'm getting some data about that jump. And then afterward, I can reset this and maybe change some of that data. It's in here somewhere. Oops. Oh, there we go. Anyway, I know there's a way to play with it. We actually did so during my training that I went through the summer. Apparently, I didn't pay attention too well, or call it training. But anyway, there's a lot of different things like this. Let's see. There's that one. We've got a effect of drag on a sports ball. So some give you little simulations about these different things that you can take a look at. So here you could talk about, even though gravity's pulling them down at the same time, the drag will have an effect on them. Let's look up something in biology. Let's say genetics. And I looked up genetics, and I have a lot of the same kind of things. Biographies, references, statistics, academic journals, videos to watch, experiments for them to do at home, simulations, even stuff like looking at genetic drift. So there's a lot of good stuff. Oh, this one, it's easier to figure out how to mess with that. So I can mess with that data and see what happens because of that. Clicking on each generation, looking at what's going on. So I really encourage you to take a look at what's available in Gale. There's a whole lot, and I know you can find something that can be very useful to you. You can even, there's a National Geographic. I don't know, maybe that'd be good for maybe middle school or some of the biology. You might be able to find some stuff on there as well. I'm going to go to the other resource I was talking about, which is Learn 360. Learn 360, another one that we have access to. All right, let me log in here. Like it says here, Mission HS and Learn. Oh, obviously I've done this before. Log in. All right, so a bunch of different stuff here as well. You're going to again have different videos, games and activities, even STEM lessons. Let me just do a quick search. I'm going to say genetics again, because why not? So the first thing it's giving me is all the videos they have. But it's not just videos. Entire videos, it has them by segment, but you can filter it so that you can have full videos. You can even create a playlist of multiple videos to tailor it to how you want. A segment from this video, a segment from another one, and really make it more defined to how you want for your class. Let's go to experiments here. Again, these are the experiment ones are again kind of like lessons that you can have them do at home. Then you have the interactive ones that they can work on online. Let's see, like this one would be some Mendelian genetics. The one thing I realized I didn't mention before is how you would have your kids use these. If you look up here, you can actually embed it into Google Classroom. You can make a dedicated link to it. You can share it, embed it into that Google Classroom. Let's see. If you go here, you make this URL, this link. For what I remember from my training, they mentioned to make sure you got the link from here. If you just try to copy and paste from the bar at the top, it's not going to work out for you. So if you do want to send it to your students, you do have to go to share and get that dedicated link to send it out to them. But yeah, here we have another experiment that they can work on. pull stuff around here. I haven't looked at this other than right now, so that's why it doesn't look like I'm making too much progress. But anyway, there's a whole lot of different things here on Learn 360 as well. There's interactives, images, printables, a bunch of different stuff. Let's see. And for the other one, for Gale, it's also going to be pretty similar in the assigning it to your students. You have to get that dedicated link. Don't just copy it from the bar on the top, that top URL. That's not going to do it for you. So instead, you're going to have to do this page link kind of thing, or embed it into your Google Classroom, stuff like that. So I hope these have been useful. We actually have plenty of other things available to us, but I feel like for science, those Gale resources and the Learn 360 are going to be particularly useful for us science teachers. If you're wondering, by the way, if you'd like to make videos of your own for your students, I use Screencast-O-Matic. It's a really easy to use online resource that you can download, and it's free. Of course, there's a paid version that it gets more fancy, but you can make short videos using the free version. And you can even embed your face in there and whatnot. I couldn't because my camera's not working. But anyway, I hope this has been useful. I hope it hasn't been too long, and